Welcome to Coffee with Terry,
And Jen.
and today we have one of Sudbury's top real estate lawyers, Amy Best.
Hi, Amy. We're so glad to have you. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your office?
Hi Terry, hi Jen. Thanks for inviting me for coffee with you guys today. So my name is Amy Best and I am a real estate lawyer here in Sudbury. Our office is downtown. I work with my dad. We're the two lawyers here and we have 4 staff members between our 2 offices. Our main office is downtown and we also have a branch office in Espanola. So we focus mostly on real estate purchases, sales, mortgages, and we also do wills and we do estate work as well.
A lot of people ask, why do they need a lawyer for a real estate transaction? What would you say to that?
You need to have a lawyer on a real estate transaction because only lawyers are allowed to transfer title to property. So whether you are a buyer or a seller, you need to have a lawyer acting for you to carry out the contract and to arrange for everything to be signed and completed on the closing date. If you are a buyer, you're probably also have a mortgage lender who's going to be loaning you money for the purchase. So your lawyer will also be acting for the bank to make sure that the mortgage is a valid first lien over the property when the deal is done. Your buyer's lawyer will check into taxes and make sure that the seller has paid them up to date or that money will be sent to the city on closing to bring the taxes up to date to the closing date. Your lawyer will search title, check for liens, and make requisitions of the seller's lawyer to take things off title that shouldn't be there, maybe documents that have expired are there by mistake. And so that's part of the buyer's lawyer's job. For the seller, your lawyer is going to contact your mortgage lender, arrange to pay out your mortgage on the closing date, and handle all the monies from the buyer's lawyer, pay out taxes, mortgage, any other payouts, and get the funds to you when the deal is closed.
Can you explain what a title search is and what is title insurance?
A title search involves searching the records at the land registry office relating to the property that you're buying. So when you made your offer through your real estate agent, he or she would have done a basic title search to get the proper legal description of the property. But a title search is more comprehensive than that, and it involves the lawyer reviewing all the documents that are on the title. Um, that could include easements, it could include documents that were registered that add or take away property from the land as it originally was, the mortgages that are on title. Any document that's registered, your lawyer is going to review and determine whether it should be there or whether it should come off. The title search is always different depending on the specific property you're buying. So some properties in Sudbury are parts of subdivisions. So Moonglow, for example, that was laid out as a subdivision. So every property in Moonglow is a lot on a plan of subdivision. So usually the title searching in that type of property is not as comprehensive as a rural property or a property that's been added to or some has been split off. So sometimes the lawyer needs to do what's called an abutting property search to make sure that there's no issues with the properties that are touching the one that you're buying, because if there are, then the one that you're buying might have problems with it as well. Title insurance. I could talk for a long, long time about title insurance, but I'm not going to. I'll just say that title insurance is an insurance policy, a product that you buy. Your lawyer buys it on your behalf as part of the closing process. Your lawyer also buys a policy that protects your mortgage lender, and it's a one-time premium It's usually based on the price of the real estate that you're buying. And you have that insurance policy for as long as you own the property. And really basically it provides insurance coverage for issues that you would have learned about the property had you obtained a current survey of the property you're buying. So an up-to-date current survey showing the location of the house, any other structures, the lot lines, because without that, and nobody ever gets that these days, then you don't know, your agent doesn't know, your lawyer doesn't know exactly where the four corners of the property are on the ground, and there might be encroachments on or off your property that nobody knows about. So that's what title insurance is meant to address.
Amy, how is this pandemic affecting people with pending real estate transactions?
Right now, about 5-6 weeks into this pandemic, things are starting to feel a little bit normal again for us. The volume of the deals for this time in the spring has really fallen off, but the deals that we do have, and some of those came into the office before COVID-19 was a big thing, those have all proceeded pretty smoothly in the grand scheme of things. Most of them have closed, no problems. Everything has slowed down though. The pace which that we can do our searches and get our search results has slowed down. Everything's taking a little bit more time. So sometimes we would get really, really rush closings and we'd be able to turn them around that quickly, but we aren't really able to do that right now, and I haven't seen a lot come in that are really fast like that because everyone seems to understand that everything takes a bit longer right now. Getting your mortgage documents in place takes longer, getting your financing, the lawyer's due diligence, the time it takes us to do our title searching, do searches with the city and that kind of thing. It's all just slower, so I think everyone is appreciating that we shouldn't be doing too many rush deals right now.
Amy, in normal times, what are some of the biggest challenges or difficulties that a buyer or a seller might face from your perspective?
Back in normal times, so long ago, from my experience, one of the biggest challenges that I encounter on behalf of buyers and sellers has to do with building permits. People like to do work on their properties. Sometimes they don't realize or don't appreciate that that work needs to be done with the building permit. And often these problems come to a head really close to closing. And what I would say is I guess that it would be nice if everybody from the very beginning of the transaction had an eye to building permits, whether something was needed, whether the seller had one, and just did a little bit more talking about that from the get-go instead of once you've already entered into your agreement, it's firm, it's moving ahead, and then it gets into the period between when you've signed the agreement and the lawyer's time to do the searches before closing to dig up those issues and discuss them. So building permits, yeah.
Amy, do you have any advice or anything else that you'd like to add?
I would just say that in this time of uncertainty with everything that's going on, and we're not sure when things will go back to normal or what normal will mean, that just to be patient and take your time, maybe a little more time than you might otherwise would if you're going down the path of your first house or buying something or making a change. Just know that everyone is working as hard as they can, or maybe with reduced staff and reduced work hours to make it through this tough time, and just keep that in mind, and feel free to reach out to your agent or to call your lawyer with extra questions if you're not sure. But that's about it. So good luck, and thanks again for the chance to chat with you guys. And stay safe, be well, and hope to talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you so much for taking the time out and being with us today.
We really appreciate your knowledge and your insight.
Thanks, Amy.
Bye.
Bye.